What's up, everyone? I'm Rick Knight. Welcome back to another video here at The Bad Philosopher. So there's a lot of criticism coming for Joe Rogan. He recently had the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, on his show, and apparently he didn't really ask the tough questions or grill him very hard. He made it a very peaceful interview. A lot of people were upset about that. Now, the show had about when I watched it, it was about 633,000 views. There was 6.6 thousand likes and 42,000 dislikes. More people disliked the video than liked it, which is very rare for Joe Rogan. He has a lot of fans. This is a guy with over 4 million subscribers for his show. He is one of the top rated, if not the top rated podcast in the country, or maybe even in the world. Anyone who does podcasting, and here I am setting up to officially, run my podcast and move away from just doing these types of videos, or at least not do these types of videos as my main show. We all admire Joe Rogan. We look up to him, naturally, being that he is one of the top podcasters. So we had Jack Dorsey on the show and didn't really grill him as hard as a lot of people was expecting to. Now, having somebody like that, having the CEO of Twitter on the show, you would expect him to really go in on him pretty hard, considering that there's a lot of criticism and a lot of controversy behind Twitter. So at one time in the interview, Dorsey said that Twitter has incentivized echo chambering. So people are using Twitter as just another means of, this is something we all knew. You go on Twitter and you see all of the radical leftist viewpoints, and you see how all of their narrative is just pumped all through Twitter. The problem we have is that when we have a narrative, or we have an idea or an opinion about something, it's so easy. We're so easily booted and deleted and blocked on social media platforms, because we all know that any members of the right are not welcome through social media. And I was expecting Joe Rogan to grill him on that, and he didn't. He kind of dropped the ball in that area, and a lot of people were upset. Joe did ask him about the MAGA wearing hat teens with the Native American situation that happened in Washington, D.C., and he said that Joe said to him that people mainly. He said Kathy Griffin asked for a name and address of the kid, and it's a form of doxing. And Jack Dorsey said, "Well, that's the us incentivizing an echo chamber," and that's pretty much what happened. Kathy Griffin was not, to my knowledge at least, was not booted or deleted or anything from Twitter, which I was expecting Joe to step in and say something and ask him, was she deleted from Twitter? Do you plan on doing that? What do you plan on doing to someone who does something like that? And he kind of didn't, so he dropped the ball on that as well. Joe did ask about hate speech and what constitutes hate speech and who gets to decide hate speech, and said that his show is a platform that he lets people on his show, and people have different opinions, and his show is designed to have people on, have a conversation, let people talk, let people say what they have to say. Because if people have any kind of faulty philosophy, then it'll be exposed on the show, like what happened with Milo when he spoke about young 13-year-old boys having relationships with older men, and it kind of, in a sense, brought Milo down a little bit. It did knock him down off of the public spectrum, and his career kind of dropped. He's not really a big thing anymore as he was after he was exposed on the Joe Rogan show. Dorsey said that as far as hate speech is concerned, that it's not the individual tweet that matters, it's the accumulation of what comes afterwards. That tweet is how they really look at it, and then they take those comments and they kind of put it down someplace where you would have to click into it to find it instead of it being right there. I guess this is a form of, shadow banning, as they call it. That doesn't seem to be the case, considering that there's been a lot of people booted off of Twitter or had their comments, either they were banned, deleted, or blocked for making a comment. Sarah Jung, who's hired from the New York Times, hired her. She made a whole slew of racist, anti-white tweets. When that came to light, people was wondering what would happen if you switched where she wrote white men or white people, white anything. If you switched it to black or Jew, what would happen? Well, Candace Owens took everyone up on that offer, and she tweeted the exact same words, and she switched out the word white for the word black and the word Jew. She was instantly put on a 12-hour ban from Twitter. And then after the pile-on continued, the mob came, and they're wondering what was going on. Why was she banned? Why was she blocked? Then Twitter apologized and Candace Owens' comment remain. Just to show you that it's not the individual. It's not that that they don't delete the tweet. It seems like they do. It seems like they do have a preference for left-leaning echo chambering and nothing on the right. I was expecting Joe to say something about that, and he didn't. He kind of just let that opportunity pass as well. Joe did ask about the Alex Jones situation. Why was he banned? What did he do to get banned from Twitter? In my opinion, Jack Dorsey gave a very unclear, unsure reason. It was very vague. It didn't make much sense. He really didn't answer the question. It wasn't a straightforward answer. It was an open-end answer. Joe didn't really go in on him much on that. He kind of let that one slide too. Now, I'm just wondering what was the thought behind all of this. Maybe Jack Dorsey, I'm always going to go with the most logical explanation that I can see in it with limited information. All I can do is look for the most logical reasoning until further notice, until further information becomes available. So I'm going to say that maybe Jack Dorsey said, look, if I'll agree to come on your show, but I don't want to be grilled. I don't want to be questioned. I don't want to feel like my back's up against the wall. I'll come, I'll sit down, I'll talk to you. But if you're going to, if you're going to grill me or anything, that I don't want to do the show. That's very possible. People do that. They lay ground rules out and they say, well, these are the ground rules. If I'm going to be on your show, follow these rules and we'll do the show, no problem. If you don't follow these rules, then I'm going to get up and walk and I'll refuse to do the show. And I don't want the video being put out into the public. So maybe that was the case. So I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt until I have further information. I don't want to jump to conclusions. But I do feel that if that was the case, then the mighty Joe Rogan should have said, absolutely not, bro. You know my style. I talk to people. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to tell you I don't agree with you. If I want to know deeper, if I ask a question and you're not really, if it's a very vague answer, then I'm going to ask a little again. I'm going to try to be tough on you. I mean, you already, at this point, the public figure, Twitter's a huge company. You come with a lot of baggage behind you in terms of popularity and everything that, Twitter represents. Joe should have said, then I won't have you on the show, no problem. If I can't grill you, if I can't ask you the tough questions, then I'd rather not have you on my show because that's not who I am. And we definitely would have had a lot of respect for him for doing so, but he didn't, and it was a very peaceful interview, which it was kind of out of the character of a Joe Rogan. And that's why people are pretty upset about it, more disappointed. They're very disappointed about the type of interview that Rogan gave Dorsey. Also involving that, they saying that there was a lot of comments that was deleted, people who saw the interview, who watched the interview, expecting more people with big names on YouTube and in social media, and they saw this interview and they decided to leave a comment. They were also disappointed and they left a comment. Those comments were deleted. A few of them were Mark Dice, he was one, and also Sargon of Akkad. I believe is claiming that he left a comment in the comment section of the video and it was deleted. Again, I can't say if it's true or not. I don't know. This is just what's being said. I believe Mark Dice left a comment. Then when he went back to look at it, the comment was gone or something like that. He might have took a screenshot of it and was able to show that he did comment and the comment disappeared. I'm not sure at all. Now, I am a huge fan of Mark Dice. I love Mark Dice. I think he's great. Joe Rogan as well, I think is great. I'd love to see the two of them. I'd love to see Mark Dice on the Joe Rogan show. That would be a great thing. Hopefully, this situation leads to him being on the show. That would definitely be a great look for both of them. Sargon of Akkad, he did the Joe Rogan show before. I do like Sargon of Akkad occasionally. I do watch some of his videos. He's got some interesting things to say. Both of them claim that their comments were deleted in the comment section on that episode, on that show that he did. If that's the case, again, I'm not taking any sides, but if that's the case, then that's a very, very, very bad look for Joe Rogan. Also, Rogan is part of the intellectual dark web, which is the group of men that there's Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, Joe Rogan, Dave Rubin, both Eric and Brett Weinstein. These are the public intellectuals that are really on social media, on YouTube and stuff like that, that a lot of people follow. and that's why they're the intellectuals and dark web. I think that was a coin that Eric Weinstein has. That was a phrase that was coined by Eric Weinstein, indicating that they are. They're a part of media, but the dark media, right? The social media that's not really in the public's public view, like the news and other media that they're kind of online, and became more popular than most of the journalists that you see on TV. This is a very bad look for them if Joe is doing stuff like this, blocking comments and not asking the tough questions, and giving these really friendly interviews with someone like Twitter, who's accused of being towards the left and banning people from the right. Joe Rogan did mention about Patreon banning a few people, and that was the perfect moment. I thought he was going to step in and say, what about Twitter? Twitter also, it's rumored that you have the same policies as well for banning people, and he just didn't. He kind of dropped the ball in this whole interview. Again, I don't want to say that he did it because he has, that he was using. I don't want to say that he was intentionally using this as a propaganda tool, this interview. I don't want to say that he's a part of the problem that we, at least that I'm always talking about in the videos that I make, and other people out there. I don't want to say that. I don't want to go that far, because it appears that Joe Rogan is very independent in thought, and he speaks his mind, and I agree with him on some things. I disagree with him on others. But I didn't view him as someone who, the way I view people on the left, on the radical left. I know I keep saying the left and Democrats, and I really should make the distinction and say radical lefts, because that's really who I'm against. And I don't view Joe as one of them. I'm not going to say that this video is proof that he really secretly is one of them, but it's definitely not a good look, and a lot of people are saying that. They're making claims that, leaving comments saying, they got to Joe as well, and I seen a couple really good jokes about Joe Rogan getting a phone call from Hillary Clinton before Jack Dorsey came on. A couple memes that popped up already that I saw. So it's not a good look. It's a pretty bad. I guess image-wise for Joe, it's pretty bad. A lot of people disappointed. This could be the moment where a lot of people decide to unsubscribe him and not watch his show anymore. This could potentially cause a big Joe to take a big hit in his career, in his podcasting career at least. That's going very, very, very well for him. I wish him the best. I hope he can pull out of this. I hope this is something that just kind of goes away soon, and he could just move on and move forward. But I am a little disappointed in him. I felt he should have asked the tough questions. He should have grilled him a little more, as he usually does. If that's not the case, then maybe he shouldn't have had him on the show. And that's it. He should have just said, I'm sorry, I can't have you on my show then if I can't ask the tough questions, if I can't try to at least put you on the spot a little bit with a few questions, and really try to, see where you're coming from and understand, some of the practice of Twitter, then I'd rather not have you on my show. He didn't do that, so I am definitely disappointed in Joe Rogan for that particular episode. And going into the future, I'm still gonna watch his show. I'm still gonna watch him. He does have good guests on. I will continue to watch, but it's one of those I'll watch, but I'll have my eye on you after this. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people feel this way. So I wish them all the best, and that's all I have for this show. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, hit the bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.